A creative article shaped for listening, emotional stillness, completion, and the first grounded step of new growth. There are moments when life offers something quietly, but the heart is too full, tired, or inwardly turned to recognize it. The Four of Cups arrives as emotional stillness, contemplation, and the pause that comes when what once satisfied no longer reaches the deeper places within. This card can speak of apathy, withdrawal, or the sense that something is missing, even when life is holding out a cup of possibility. The Four of Cups asks you to honour the need to turn inward, but not to mistake numbness for truth. Sometimes the soul withdraws because it is listening for something more meaningful. Sometimes the heart closes a little because it has grown weary of shallow offerings. This card invites gentle awareness. What is being refused because it is not right, and what is being missed because the heart is guarded, distracted, or quietly afraid to receive. Then the world appears, vast and complete, carrying the energy of fulfillment, integration, and the closing of a great circle. This card speaks of arrival, not as an ending that leaves you empty, but as a threshold where all that has been learned begins to make sense. The world reminds us that every journey changes the traveller, and that completion is not simply the finishing of something. It is the gathering of wisdom from everything that brought you here. The world asks you to recognize how far you have come. What cycle has completed within you? What lesson has finally settled into the body, not as an idea but as lived understanding? This card offers a moment of wholeness, a sacred pause at the edge of a new chapter. It says that something has been integrated, something has ripened, something in you is ready to stand more fully within the truth of its own becoming. Into this stillness and completion comes the Page of Pentacles, young, grounded, curious, and ready to learn. This page brings the first tangible step after reflection. He speaks of study, practice, devotion, and the willingness to begin again in a humble, practical way. Where the world completes a cycle, the Page of Pentacles holds the seed of the next one. He does not need to know the whole harvest. He only needs to honor the seed in his hands. The Page of Pentacles asks what wants to become real now. What small act of commitment could turn insight into growth? What skill, practice, plan, or earthly devotion is ready for your attention? This card reminds us that new beginnings do not always arrive as grand declarations. Sometimes they arrive as a notebook opened, a seed planted, a lesson chosen, a first step taken with sincerity. So if the Four of Cups is the inward pause, the world is the completed cycle, and the Page of Pentacles is the grounded beginning that follows, then the message is one of awakening from emotional stillness into embodied renewal, Something may have felt flat, distant, or uncertain, but beneath that stillness, a cycle has been closing. The heart may have needed space to recognize that it is no longer standing where it once stood. This reading asks you to listen for the difference between refusal and readiness. You may not be meant to accept every cup that appears, but neither are you meant to remain closed to life's quiet offerings. Completion has prepared you for something more grounded. The next chapter may begin gently, practically, and without drama, but it carries real promise if you are willing to meet it with patience and care. And as you listen inwardly, remember this: stillness can reveal the heart's hunger, completion can restore your sense of wholeness, and small beginnings can carry sacred potential. Let the cup be considered with honesty. Let the circle close with gratitude. Let the seed in your hands remind you that the next path does not need to be rushed. You are not returning to the beginning unchanged. You are beginning again with everything you have learned.